The Gift by Lara Fleenor. Callie swore she'd never fall for a soldier. After she and her mom had watched the dark sedan with government plates pull into the driveway on that Christmas Eve so many years ago, she'd vowed she'd never go through that again. For years, she saw the pain and heartbreak that her mother lived with. She never did remarry. After all, her dad was the love of her life, and she knew no one could ever take his place. The first time Callie saw Jamie, he walked through the door of the little coffee shop on Main Street. She was bussing tables and perfecting her barista skills to help her get by financially. She didn't recognize him, figured he must be new in town. They made small talk while she was making his cappuccino. She liked the way he smiled. Jamie sat at a corner table drinking his coffee and watching people. He stayed until she walked to the front door and flipped the open sign around, signaling it was closing time. After wiping down the last table, Callie decided to go and sit with him. They talked for hours, and before they knew it, it was midnight. Jamie got up from the table and apologized for keeping her so late. She didn't seem to mind, and, well, she was secretly hoping she would see him again very soon. As she walked him to the front door, he asked if she'd had plans for the next day. She smiled and agreed to meet him for lunch before she closed and locked the door behind him. After that first date, they were inseparable. Jamie had told her that he was in the military and was stationed at a local base. There was something about him, though, that drew him into her and made her trust him, in spite of the childhood promise she'd made to herself all those years ago. Jamie made her believe in the future and that he would always be there for her, no matter what. The months passed on quickly, and before they knew it, it was Thanksgiving. They'd made their first holiday dinner together, and after they had enjoyed their meal and the dishes were done, they settled in the living room. Jamie had been quiet most of the evening, and Callie wasn't sure why. He hadn't wanted to ruin their first Thanksgiving together, but he had news. He had gotten his orders. He was to deploy the very next week. She was sad, but knew that this was part of the life she would have with Jamie. The following week, Callie met his unit at the base to say goodbye. Their time together had been so amazing, and she couldn't imagine being without him for 9 months. After their goodbyes, she watched the C-130 climb into the sky before it disappeared behind the clouds. 2 weeks later, the call came. Jamie was gone. There'd been an accident, and only one person from his unit had survived. The survivor had been transported to the military hospital in Germany. How could this be? How could the fates let this happen again? Callie's mind was spinning, and she couldn't make any sense of it. It was snowing on Christmas Eve. She didn't notice. There was no decorations this year. What's the point? As she stared at the glow of the fireplace, the doorbell rang. Who would be there this time of night, before Christmas? She looked through the peephole, and she knew her mind was playing tricks on her. Cautiously, Callie opened the door and couldn't believe her eyes. How was this possible? Jamie was standing on her front porch, supported by a pair of crutches. She touched his bandaged face to make sure that it really was him. And it was him. In the chaos after the accident, there was a terrible mix-up, and the survivor had been misidentified. Jamie was badly injured, but he had come home to Callie.
I found a love for me. Darling, just dive right in and follow my lead. Well, I found a girl, beautiful and sweet. Well, I never knew you were the someone waiting for me. Just kids when we fell